Sinamkele ke futhi ku Sports View. Now njengoba nibonile that last fighter standing is going to be something ezoba inkulu nje la South Africa. Now njengoba siqhubeka ke ngeconcept yethu yama champions, we head down to the Val Dam la sikhuluma khona no Wade Bull, who is the 2015 champion of the Trans-Agalhas inflatables race. His family has been involved in inflatables for decades and they continue to dominate the sport. We find out more.
The first Agalhas he did, he didn't really have much experience, but he was adamant he wanted to do it, and I supported him all the way.
The toughest event in the country is definitely the Trans-Agalhas. I've never raced an event like that.
The conditions were very extreme, but in all races, you always worry as a parent in that, because you never know what's going to happen, and when you see boats coming in and you don't see your son's boat, and you start worrying, and
it pushes the limits on everything, mentally and physically demanding on the body.
It's the rescue and the organisation of the Trans-Agalhas is so well put down that there's always people on the water looking after these guys, and that's really one of the things that are really satisfying.
It's amazing the feeling you get when you finish and you cross that finish line. I think that's just what brings you back, and you want to do it again and again.
Then the focus moved to the Val Dam and the ice block event.
It's actually quite funny. I went to the beach one day, and a friend of mine had a boat, a little semi-rigid, asked me to pull him on his skis, and I'd never been in a boat before. I said, hey, no problem. Later on I saw this boat running up and down in the surf, and I said, would you take me for a ride? He says, yeah, hop on. And he took me for a ride through the surf. I got back on the beach. I said, do you build these? He said, yeah. I said, well, I want one. Subsequently I went home and I said to my brother Lionel, I said, hey, we've bought a boat. He says, what are you talking about? I said, we bought a boat and we're going to start racing. He says, are you serious? I said, yeah. He hadn't seen the boat, didn't know what it was about, and the Monday we went and ordered an engine, and yeah, the rest was history, hey?
When I was little, I didn't really like the beach. It wasn't my scene and that, but as I got older, I got more and more into it and excited about it. And my dad put me in the boat, started co-piloting for him, and that really got me hooked. I started racing with my dad at the age of 16. I didn't race all the races with him because I didn't have the experience, but I did a lot of the fun races, and he taught me a lot of things. From there we progressed and started doing more serious races. I would say about 3-4 years later I got into my first boat, and then he started training me.
How important is the co-pilot?
Oh, it's very important to have a good relationship with your co-pilot. The co-pilot definitely gets the feel of the boat and understands it. Brandon sometimes races some fun races as well, and I co-pilot for him.
When I met you in grade 9 in high school, he told me about the racing with inflatables with his father. So the one day he told me to come with him down to the water, and so his dad brought a boat down, and his dad said, why don't you guys go test the boat for us? Geez, after like half an hour we had the boat going as fast as we could, and after that the bug struck.
We've been together racing ever since. We train together. He knows exactly what I need him to do in the boat. He knows what I do. The role of co-pilot is to balance the boat. We can't trim the boat while we're riding. So by him moving forward and backwards, it trims the boat positive or negative.
On long hauls, on flat water, it's actually the worst part of the co-pilot, because you have to get really down low, keep your body position to the back to keep the boat going as fast as it can.
Which makes a big difference to speed, can be the difference from winning or losing.
But getting assistance is very important.
My dad helps us with a lot of advice. The biggest thing I would say is prop choice and setup. And he knows exactly. He just looks at the water and he can tell me, okay, today, wait, we need to set the boat a bit negative, or we need to set it a bit positive. Those small things help me really a lot.
Like any father, you always want to give advice to your children. When Wade races, he is so professional. He is so dedicated in what he does. His preparation for the racing is so committed. 5 o'clock in the mornings, Wade gets up, goes to gym. The first time he raced, I sat watching him when he beached. He got out the boat and walked up to the guy that he'd just beaten, and he shook his hand, and that really put a lump in my throat, because that is what sportsmanship is really about in the sport, and that is what I love. When you finish on the water, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You shake the other competitors' hands. It's what it's about. That's what makes the sport great.
Having my dad as a mentor and giving me advice on the beach was a huge help to me, and it's really shown in the way we ride and the way we've been performing this year. if I ever have any doubts or anything, I just go to him and he gives me advice and tells me what to do, and it helps me on the boat, and yeah, it just puts us on the right foot forward.
Well, Wade's dad is what I could say pretty much our #1 supporter. He's always on the sideline, always helping us, and even if it goes bad or wrong, he'll always be on our side helping us.
I look up to my dad a lot. He's a big role model for me.
Well, what Wade and I have accomplished already in these 3-4 years so far, being already winning the Toronto Gutters for modifieds, being the national champs, and now going again for the first position, I can see us going very far in the future.
And then I see myself racing definitely for another 5 years. My biggest goal is to go race the world champs and hopefully win that and become a world champion.
Yeah, it does make me proud as a father to have your son carry on racing and do as well as what he's doing. And yet the funny thing was, you know, Wade never went to the beach, hated the sand on his feet. You know, the first time he actually got in a boat was when he was in grade 12. And he said to me, "Dad, you know, may I go for a ride in your boat?" I said, "My boy," I said, "help yourself." And got in the boat, never got out of it. Got in the boat for his first race, won his first race, and since then, yeah, he's literally won everything. And to see his interest and, you know, and to respect what I did and love what I did, I think as a father, it makes you really proud. It really does.
I race and then I look at him just for that to see if I made him proud, we won. It means a lot to me to see him happy, and yeah, it's what I love to do.
He always comes to me afterwards and says, "Dad, you know, thanks very much." And that to me is why I support him so well, and I'm really 100% behind my son.
Although Wade came second at this year's Ice Block, there is no question about his ability and his determination to be the #1 inflatable racer for many years to come. Nadi Breek op Sportsview.
We finish in KZN at the Durban Shongweni Club for the Polo Cross World Championships. Stay with us on SABC2, where you belong.